And I'll tell you what, Kevin Kaminski, you can bring him in, guys, if you don't mind. You just look up the picture of a hockey guy in the dictionary. His picture's there. 139 games with the North Stars Nordique, Capitals. Played with the Saskatchewan Blades. A lot of games there. And he's the product of Churchbridge, Saskatchewan, and now the coach and GM of the Ronge Ice Walls. How you doing, Keller?
I'm doing good, Rod. How are you?
Good, guys. I like your shirt.
Yes.
Tell the folks the story behind that.
Joe Lazito up in New York. He's a big Islanders fan. He loves the fighting part of the game, and he has a podcast, Coliseum Chronicles. And actually, we just got off the phone. We were on the phone for close to 2 hours this morning. Actually, he's helping me write my book.
Wow.
So just a great friend. But I think you know the story with him in the subway there. That
oh yeah.
He wrote his own book, and now he's helping me with my little book that I'm going to be coming out with.
I can't wait to read that. And Joe Lazito took down a mass murderer on the subway in New York, and the NYPD took credit for it. Did you know that? Ended up, and he was the one that did it. It is a hell of a story. You're right. And Killer, would you mind, just before we get into the hockey stuff, tell our viewers off the top of your head where you coached? Because I just mentioned where you played. It's quite a few towns. It's not, we got time for it. Where did you coach?
Well, I started after I retired due to concussions. I coached in Cincinnati with the Mighty Ducks, with Anaheim and Detroit Red Wings farm team, with under Mike Babcock in the American Hockey League, which was for me, it was an awesome experience. Just to you go from a player and you know how to prepare for yourself, but now, as a coach, how do you prepare for 25 guys to get them on the same page? And Mike is so detailed, and with his video, his structure, all that stuff, and that's what really helped me as I keep growing as a coach here. I think from there I went to
Long Beach.
Long Beach. Yep, started head coach at Long Beach, and then from there I think it was Missouri, just outside of St. Louis, and then Youngstown, Ohio. And then I went to Mississippi, and then Louisiana, and then ended up, I went 1 year in Portland, Maine, back my old stomping grounds, back to Louisiana, and then Fresno, and then full circle back in Saskatchewan and Ronge.
Yeah, and coach of the year in your first year. So, this is just a hockey chat, Keller. I'm not going to pick your brain on too much, but you're obviously a Babs fan, and there are coaches wondering if Daryl Sutter's going to start bringing back the old school coach. You're coach of the year in Ronge as an old school guy, right? Like, obviously you changed a little bit because the kids have changed, right? But the concepts of success have not changed in the wonderful game of hockey, I would suggest.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Obviously, the game has gone more skill, faster, all that stuff. So yeah, you kind of have to adjust. And I think with, my style, we're a high tempo team. We are stingy D first, take care of our own zone, and then once we create that turnover, man, that's I call it speed through the speed zone, speed through the neutral zone, and then in the offensive zone, I call it the fun zone. Go be creative. Go have fun and go score a lot of goals. But I still think, like I said, there seems to be a lot of fights this year in the NHL. I still think the intimidation factor is there. We do have a smaller barn up in the Ronge, and I think we use that to our advantage with being physical. And I felt like we wore down teams, and we took over in the third period a lot of games, and like I said, it was just relentless type style of hockey with physicality in there, and it was very successful the first year, and we're off to a 4-1 start last year. So that's the way we're going to play up in Ronge.
Yeah, and they love you in Ronge. But that's the interesting thing. You scored 26, 38, and 25 goals with the Blades. year by year by year. So you were a skilled guy too, but you also knew that you were going to have to fight to make it. 3 NHL goals. Who did you beat for your first one?
Red Light Rasico.
Oh, there was an easy one. Who'd you beat for your second one?
Oh gosh, I think it was against the Islanders. I think it was God. I can't even. It was I think a Swede goalie. Is it Soderstrom?
Tommy Soderstrom.
I can't.
Look, there are no easy goals, Killer. I'm just joking when I say that, as you know.
Too many concussions. I can't remember the third one.
Right. Hey, I'm using my Coliseum Chronicles mug this morning too. Yeah, there you go. Cheers. Good morning, Caliber Coffee.
Cheers.
Killer, the people are wanting to talk about your clothing line, if you don't mind. I see that you're wearing the same hat that I just ordered. Maybe that is my hat. Can you talk about the Killer Hockey clothing brand?
Yeah, it's just something that started up in Portland, Maine, when I was running all my hockey schools, and and I teamed up with Gobby. Everyone knows Gobby in Saskatoon. He has his brother, who I knew as well. Had committed suicide, and Darren Anderson come up with this Love My Mind mental health, and so now we've teamed up, and for every item sold, I donate $1 to Love My Mind, and then also I've been auctioning off some stuff, and 5% of that's going to Love My Mind too, and like I said, it's just I think it's part or it's gone. It just kind of seems to slip everyone's mind, and I think it's a pandemic itself, with the
mental health,
the mental side of life and all that. So just trying to do my part to hopefully give people a better life and know that there is support out there for them.
By the way, Drew Kocur is watching. He's going to be on later today from the Off the Hosel podcast. Drew Kocur, he writes in, who's tougher, Killer, you or Joey? And I'll just say Wendell says Joey's the toughest guy to ever come out of Saskatchewan. I'll just say that. But if you're fighting, you've probably fought Joey. Have you?
No, you know what? I was smart. I'm not that smart, but I never fought any of the Blade boys. Chaser, Twister, Joey, Wendell. I didn't fight any of those guys.
Well, I just thought maybe after a slow pitch game or something, maybe you guys might have got after it. Can you, Junior A?
Thank God he was on my slow pitch team.
That good point. Good point. What? How have you guys managed? Because I've been thinking of you guys a lot with not playing this year. How have your players managed? I was so happy when Bill Chow, the president, said on this show, no teams are going to fold in the SJHL. It's been a tough time for junior hockey in this country. How have the Ice Wolves managed?
Yeah, it has been. I mean, I don't. So Hockey Canada, I think, has got to do something and get with the government. I mean, there's leagues going. We started out with 150 fans. There was not one case, and then they shut us down. Like I said, I feel. I mean, I love the game. Obviously, I love coaching these kids, and I feel for these kids that I guess we're fortunate that we're going to have all our 20-year-olds committed this year. So that's a good thing. But it's been tough on everybody, and I just don't think we're getting the right answers. And hopefully, with what we're doing in the Ronge, I mean, we just had a very successful snowmobile and 50-50, raffle. And now I think starting on April 15th, we're set. We got a brand new Sea-Doo, which is unbelievable. I went and seen it at one of our sponsors, Mark Lepke at Fun Motors. So that's going to be there, and another 50-50. Just trying to, since you can't do all these other fundraisers that the teams do, we got to do this online stuff. So obviously, we appreciate your support when the raffle tickets come out.
Yeah, good. Well, that's exactly it. A lot of people have money in the bank, from what I understand. Support your teams, please. right? Support your teams because they need it, and they're going to be needing it a lot here through this offseason. Randolph Zora's watching from Eastern Ontario. He says, where can I buy those mugs? Just search Joe Lazito on Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, Coliseum Chronicles. You can get the mugs there, clothing line, and Kevin Kaminski, too. Search him for the Killer Hockey brand with proceeds going to mental health. Killer, just on an NHL note, as the NHL alum that you are, let's just stick to Canada. Are the Leafs going to romp to the Stanley Cup or what? Or do you think they've had it too easy, as John Scott has said? What's your view on the Leafs?
I don't know. I think they're growing as a team. Yesterday's game against Montreal was a hell of a game. But I think I think they have some very good leadership, and I think they've, like I said, you live and learn from the last few years, and I think that team has matured into a more well-rounded team, just to play a little better defensively. And obviously, I think now they got two legit goalies, so I think they definitely could be a legit contender, in the Canada pool.
Do you think they're cup contenders?
Well, I really like, I'm liking Montreal too, but I do. I think I really think that Toronto. Like I said, I think they've brought in. I think they had too much skill before. I think they brought in a little bit of grease and grit, with which you need down the road, and those are the guys that lead the way, and then those guys that with skill catch on and say, hey, we got to do this too. And you know what? I remember the one shift. Like I think Marner blocked about 3 or 4 shots. That's what you need from your skilled guys. When your skilled guys sacrifice the body, then I think you got something special there, and you can make some damage in the playoffs for sure. And I think they're a legit contender.
Well, the funnest time is still ahead. From our viewers, just before we say goodbye, Nelson Vo is watching in Saskatoon. He says, I'm the head coach of Killer's stepson Jack's football team. I know I'm not supposed to pick favorites, but ... Clearly his coach likes Jack, Killer. And John in Winnipeg, John Ohm, he says, is that U.S. or Canadian funds for Killer Hockey? Well, I made my order, as you saw this morning, Killer, and you can pick U.S. funds or Canadian funds. What do you want? Canadian funds or U.S. funds? It doesn't matter.
Take U.S. funds, man.
Okay, pick U.S. funds. Get 30% more. Yeah. All right, Killer.
I still miss the American dollar.
Yeah, no, don't we all? I just miss America. All right, buddy. Thanks for the time. Stay safe. Enjoy the hockey.
Thank you, Roddy. Take care, man.
You too. The great Kevin Killer Kaminski, the pride of Churchbridge, Saskatchewan, NHL vet and fighter, joining us on the program today.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.